this one. I will be making this one today. Hi, my name is Alex and welcome to the Crochet Circle. In today's video, as I already mentioned, I am gonna be making this flower. Now this is part of my crocheted bouquet flower video series where I already showed you a tutorial on how to make a gerbera flower, a daffodil, a rose, how to make these beautiful leaves, and today it's gonna be for this, I call it a filler flower. It's gonna be for this one. Now, if you want to know what you need and how to make it, join me or stay with me at least. So first I'm gonna tell you what you will need. So of course you will need some white yarn. Well, I am using white yarn and it's not completely white, and I'm using some green yarn for the stem. Then some wire, because each of these little blooms or buds are wrapped around a wire. Now for the wire, not to move too much, what I'm using is some beads. Now these are some, not my favorite beads, but I bought them once for my niece because I thought that she's gonna be making bracelets, but they ended up back at my place, and yeah, I'm gonna be using them to hide them in the little blooms. Of course, you will need some pliers to cut the wire, to bend the wire. You will need scissors, a needle, a crochet hook, of course. Did I forget anything? Oh, I did use some hot glue at the end because I wanted to secure the end of the flower, and I think we can begin now. Oh, just one more thing. I will show you how to make one of these buds. You can make as many as you want. I used 3, 5, 8, 10 of them in this flower. Perhaps it could use a few more, but for this tutorial I am gonna show you how to make one of these, how to wrap them together, wrap the little stems together, and how to attach them to the main stem. Now this is more of a 3D flower, so I want to position them in all sides because I want the bouquet to have a bit more volume. So yeah, now join me with this tutorial. It's gonna be really simple, but it's gonna be a lot of wrapping around. So let's begin. So let's start with the crocheting part. What you will need here is yarn, scissors, crochet hook, a needle, and one of those pieces of wire, 10 centimeters long. And what I'm also using is a small bead, if you can see it, hopefully you can see it, just so that the wire doesn't get out of the little bud. Okay, so first I'm gonna show you how I position the bead on the wire. So I just string it through and then I fold it and I hold it. For this I am using also some pliers. I'm holding it really tightly and then I just twist it, and now the bead won't go anywhere. So now seriously, let's go to the crocheting part. Now the pattern is really simple. It's gonna be up here in the top left corner, and I also have my cheat sheet, what I need to do. So it's actually only 2 rows, and in those 2 rows everything is done around the magic ring. So I'm gonna begin with the magic ring yarn. I am holding my yarn the way I usually hold, and I go twice around my thumb. I go into both strands pick up the working yarn, pull it through, and I do a chain 1. This is just so that the start is secured, and I pull the magic ring just a bit tighter. Once this is done, I'm just gonna move the scissors a bit away and the needle. Now I need to do 6 single crochets in the magic ring. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I have to close up the magic ring. So what I do is I pull a little bit, and then the one that is shorter, I pull it all the way, because there are 2 loops in the magic ring, and I pull it close, and it's closed. Okay, so now let's go for the second row. The second row is done in the single crochet stitches that were already done, and what I have to do next, in each stitch I have to do first an increase, 2 single crochet stitches, an increase, and another 2 single crochet stitches. So at the end I will have 8 stitches. So to go from 6 to 8, an increase, 2 single crochet stitches, an increase, and 2 single crochet stitches. So first I'm gonna do an increase. That means 2 single crochet stitches in one. So that's 1, 2 is an increase. Now 3, 4 just single crochet stitches in the stitches. Do I really have to repeat so many times the word stitches? But yeah, in the stitches of the row number 1. So I have now 4 of them. And again, an increase and 2 single crochet stitches. So an increase, 2 single crochet stitches in one. And now 7, 8 are just single crochet stitches. And that is it regarding the crocheting part. Now I would suggest leaving about 20 centimeters or at least 15 centimeters of end tail, because there will be some sewing. Now I have to close up this to make a nice little white bud, but because it's sewing, I like to leave a bit longer tail, unless you want to juggle around and try to make it with a shorter one. Now all the end tails, don't worry, you can definitely use them in an amigurumi or any other stuffing that you need. So pulling the yarn through the needle, and now I have 8 stitches, and I hope you can see each stitch has a front loop and a back loop. Now what I have to do is I'm just gonna sew from the bottom up through the front loops only. So through the front loop I'm gonna stitch up from the bottom up through the front loop only. Now I have to do this 8 times because I have 8 stitches. So 3 more, 2 more, and the last one. Now it doesn't look much, but I'm just gonna pull it just a tiny bit so it gets a bit more of a shape, not too much. Why? Because I still have to put in the bead with the wire. So I'm putting in the bead into this little cup that I kind of made, and also the starting tail, I'm not gonna waste that, so I roll it into a ball. So I just roll it around my fingers into a ball, and I try to push it into this little cup. Now I am using also my needle just to position it, and then I'm also pulling the yarn to close up the gap. And that's it. Now to finish off, I'm just gonna sew like 2-3 more times around, and that is it. That is the little bud done, and now it's gonna be time to start to assemble everything. So I have one here. I'm gonna leave the needle. What I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna, oh, you cannot see it because it's not focusing. I'm gonna cut the yarn at the length of the of the length of the wire, And now I am gonna use my green yarn and start wrapping around. Now, I don't know if you know, but some yarns are S-shaped twisted and some are Z-shaped twisted. So it depends on if it's twisted on the left or twisted on the right side. It's up to you how you want to twist yours. But I found with this specific yarn that I have, I don't know if it's an S or a Z, but it comes out much nicer if I am wrapping towards me. Now some yarns might look nicer if you wrap against, but I am gonna be wrapping towards me. And I hope my camera will focus so you will see what to do. And it doesn't want to focus. Okay. How to wrap it? So I already said that I'm gonna be wrapping it towards me. What I do is I leave about 2 centimeters or an inch, if you prefer it that way, facing down. Then I grab it and it's gonna be towards me. So I go up 3 or 4 wraps and then I start going down. Now this is to secure the green yarn, this is to secure the white yarn, and this is to have a nice bud wrapped around. And this is it. Now you have to make several more because I already made like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of them, but it's up to you the number of these little buds that you want for your flower. Now, first of all, some of these buds, the ones that you want to attach to the others, you can wrap them and then cut the yarn. And then the last one that you're gonna be making is gonna be done with the same yarn. What I already did was I made one and then I joined them together to make a pair. And what I also did was I made 3 and then joined them together as a triple. And these are the made buds. What I have to do now is I have to single wrap one more, and then with the last one I'm gonna show you how to join all those little buds together. So one more like this and then everything's gonna be joined together. So I am here now with the last one. I have 2 single buds, I have 2 double buds, and I have 1 triple. If you want, you can then combine even more, but this is what I'm gonna be doing in this tutorial. What I also prepared was my wire. This is, I think, 0.9 or 1 millimeter wire. It's gonna be the stem, where at the end I'm gonna then be wrapping all the little bits together. So yeah, let's start with the last one. Again, about an inch or 2 centimeters, 2.5 centimeters. It doesn't matter, to be honest, that much. From the end, I'm pinching it, I'm holding it. I'm gonna again wrap towards me. So 3 wraps and then go down. I'm trying to have a nice straight wire, and I'm trying also to hold the end tails together. And to be honest, you can attach the buds whenever you want. It is gonna be up to you, but about 1.5 centimeters I'm gonna attach the first single bud. So what I do is I just place it next to the current one, and then I wrap both of them together. Now I'm gonna do another centimeter of the wrapping, and I should be wrapping towards me, not away. So towards me, I'm gonna do about a centimeter, and then I'm gonna attach the next single one. Again, I'm just taking it and then joining it together, trying to hold all the wires and all the loose ends. And again, it's gonna be towards me, and I'm just wrapping around. Now here I am gonna do another centimeter of the wrapping, and then I'm gonna attach a double one. So I want it nice and tight. So now it's time to attach a double one. So I'm just taking this double one and attaching it to the current working one. Again, positioning it, trying to hold it as tight as possible. Now I am gonna be cutting some of the end tails soon as well, because I don't want the stem to be too thick. I'm holding it really tightly. So now I'm gonna cut some of these end tails. And I hate using the scissors with the wrong hand because they don't work. So I'm gonna try to reposition everything, and I'm gonna cut them at an angle, to be honest. Okay, so now what I'm also gonna attach is with the next double, I'm gonna do 2 more wraps. Again, it's gonna be around a centimeter. So with the next double, I'm also gonna attach the big wire. So here's a double. I'm gonna do a wrap around the main wire. It is a bit or it's just me that I'm a bit clumsy. So I'm attaching the main wire, and I'm attaching the next one, the next double one, and I'm holding it tight, and I'm wrapping again towards me. And it would be better if I had my yarn on the other side. So I'm gonna put my yarn here, and I'm just again gonna wrap about a centimeter, and then I'm gonna attach my next one. That is gonna be the triple one. So a few more wraps. I am wrapping towards me, but depending on the yarn you have, you can be wrapping outwards. Okay, so now the next one is gonna be the triple one, and I'm just gonna add it like I did the rest of them. So I'm holding it, and I am wrapping it around. And that is the whole story on how to crochet this flower. Now I am gonna then place it in all directions, so it's not gonna be in 2 dimensions, it's gonna be in 3 dimensions, but I think you can already see how it's looking. What I have to do now is I have to wrap around through everything. while I still have all the wire from each of the separate buds, and while I still have the end tails of all the separate, are those flowers? Well, little mini blooms, let's call them like that then. I am trying to hide them in, but once those ends are gonna be all worked in, it's gonna be much easier to run the green yarn around the main stem. I don't want double ones. Okay, so now I'm at the, is it the fun part? Well, let's say it's the fun part. So it's much easier now to wrap around because I can just yeah, go in rounds, and it's much easier and it's much faster. So it goes around. I don't want a double, I want a single. Every now and then I have to look if everything is going good, and I hope you can see it as well. Now for this pattern, again, it's only 2 rows that you have to know. If you're feeling adventurous, you can also do just, or if you want smaller little buds, you can also do just 6 single crochets in the magic ring, and then the second row would be perhaps without the increases, so you would have 2 rows of 6 single crochets. That means that the little blooms would be much smaller. So I'm trying to find a good position. That's why I'm moving it left to right and up and down and in all the ways, because it's quite some job to wrap it till the end. But I think that it should be wrapped all the way down because, well, to be honest, all of my flowers from the bouquet are made like this, so all the flowers have stems that are completely wrapped around. And I turned everything around, so now I'm here on the last 10 centimeters and it's soon gonna be over. Now for the end I am gonna use a drop of hot glue, but what you can also use is normal glue or wood glue, whatever thing that you think that might work. But for me, the best option that I kind of found out was just a drop of hot glue, because the end of the wire, I don't want anything to, yeah, I don't want to poke myself with the wire, so a drop of hot glue at the end and then it's done. Well, I still then have to wait for the hot glue to cool off before I put it in the bouquet, but that's it. So now I'm gonna cut the yarn again. I cannot do it with the left hand because it's not working for me, and I have to use the hot glue. Now here's my hot glue, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put a drop at the end and then continue with the wrapping all the way down and then back. Again, I'm gonna just dip a bit more glue on the whole second row. A bit at the end, because I don't want the wire to have the pointy end, so I won't get hurt. And yeah, well, I have to wait now for this to dry, and the flower is ready to be put in a bouquet. So stay with me and let's make a bouquet. Now this is the bouquet done. You already saw the tutorial to make the gerbera flower, for the daffodil, for the rose, for the green leaves. I will need to do the pattern for the calla lily, and yeah, today it was for this filler. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it will be useful for you if you're gonna be doing your own crocheted flower bouquet. And until the next time, I'm gonna say happy crafting!